Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the market. So if you've been following along, I went bearish to hedge my parents' portfolio on Wednesday, looking for the weekly lower high to be set, and the size of the bounce was too hard, too fast. Wednesday, we shot up, building no support. So still holding that hedge at this point, no reason to cover. We closed with bearish momentum, confirming an hourly bear flag after a weak bounce attempt that tried to take place in the middle of the day today. And we're now looking down at support of 269.59. There's a gap down at 268.12. We filled one of the gaps here at 275.30 today. I feel that the most likely scenario is to form a daily higher low, see a bounce, set a lower high, and then have a tightening range into next week. So I am looking for the hourly oversold bounces to get going. The tech sector is crushed on the hourly time frame. The financial sector weakness is finally picking up as well. But SPY heading into tomorrow is hourly oversold. So any kind of gap down open, I will be looking bullish. And if I don't see a bullish setup I like, I just will not be trading. So on the weekly time frame, very clearly our lower high is being set, and we're going to be looking to pull back and form a higher low on the weekly. Still a lot of space for these bulls to work with. The low from the dump was down at, let's just call it 260 to make things easy. And that's 5% from where we currently stand right now. So we could drop another 5% before we get to that support level. IWM on the daily chart, same thing. 3 big bear days, did not establish a lot of support on the way up. We did lose this support level of 152.35. But just like SPY, we're zooming out to the weekly. The must hold is the higher low from the October dump lows and continuation to try and set the higher low and then higher high on this weekly time frame. Obviously, the bears want to break the lows of the October dump, and if we do, you better believe that this market is going to experience a good amount of fear, and the talking heads are going to be all over it. And again, that's the situation that I was hedging against. I entered that bearish position in SPXS because I wanted to protect in case we break the October lows and things do get ugly and we lose the monthly uptrend that the market has been seeing for a long time. QQQ, look at the tech sector weakness just falling apart, breaking support of 167.08. Gap to fill is 166.03. That has not filled yet, but we don't have a whole lot of space to work with like SPY does. SPY has more space to work with because the financial sector held up better, but 160 is support, and here we are with only about 4% for the bulls to work with, so a little bit less room than SPY has. Closed down at the low of the day, hourly RSI level at extremes, and again, a gap down open will be for buying in my opinion tomorrow. QQQ on the weekly has to form the higher low and then break 175.58 to change the weekly momentum back to the bulls. That's a long way from happening. At this point, the bulls are just looking for the weekly higher low to be established. Financial sector starting to pull back more significantly now. Plenty of space for the bulls to keep a higher low compared to 26.18. And again, you look at the weekly chart, plenty of space to work with. That low was down at 25, and here we are, 6%. So that evens out. 6% space for the bulls to work with on the financial sector, 4% on the tech sector, 5% on SPY. Those are very rough numbers, but that's pretty much where we stand right now. So the odds that we're going to form a higher low on the weekly for XLF are more likely than they are for the tech sector right now. VIX, big bull move today. Key resistance, anything under 2161 is just a lower high. So if we get an hourly oversold bounce with some follow through in the markets tomorrow, we'll be looking for VIX to potentially just be setting a daily lower high. The size of the bounce is significant enough that if we cannot break 2161, we will absolutely expect a daily higher low to form on this consolidation, and then it would be the trend change that would have us looking for the weekly higher low to be clearly established from 1609. So overall, bears in complete control short term, but this is the kind of scenario where I'm looking in the other direction in the short term because things are getting extreme. Just looking at the SPY hourly RSI here with extended hours on, we're down in the low 20s. Weak bounce attempt here after hours. Looking at the tech sector, QQQ, RSI crushed on the hourly. So again, I'd love to see a gap down open because I would be looking to be a buyer of bullish positions. If you've been watching in the past, I have highlighted many times how, in my opinion, Apple is the most important stock in the entire market because of the weighting it has in the tech sectors and the weight that the tech sectors have in the overall markets. So we had a weak bounce attempt, but the red flag here right away on Apple was the break of this 198.17 support level. That broke first thing, and that set the tone for a very weak day. All out dump on Apple, closed at the low of the day. Look at the hourly RSI on Apple. Today, down at the low, we were down in the teens on the hourly RSI. Anything under 196.67 will just be a lower high. But again, a gap down open, and I will be looking for potential buying opportunities. I'm not just going to buy, obviously. I'm going to be basing it off some kind of support level, whether that's a pre-market support or what. We'll have to wait and see. But that will just be my mindset. And that's the kind of scenario where if I do not get the setup I like, I just don't trade. So if I don't see any bull setups that I like and we still see weakness and the RSI levels are still down at extremes, I will just sit on my hands until I do wait for a trade setup to come to me that I am comfortable with. So we'll see if we get that weakness first thing tomorrow. I'll be looking to see an hourly oversold bounce play out, and we're looking for daily higher lows to be established in a lot of these major names, and then anticipating lower highs on the bounce that follows through from that daily higher low. So it's going to be an interesting rest of the week, that's for sure, starting it out on the right note, and we'll check back in tomorrow. Have a good night.